I was on mute. Just kidding. So I hope everybody is doing well. It is me, Demetra K, and it is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people. Donovan is still in Hawaii, but he will be here shortly. He was driving around, so I guess he's going to be going back to California tomorrow, maybe, right? But nevertheless, I am here. Hello to Stacy. Maureen, how you doing? Seafield just says Alabama born and raised. So I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about what's going on in regards to the melee, if you will. Hello, Brother Don. I hope you are well, and thank you for being my moderator. And Kim, Alabama, what's going on? And Seafield says, I don't believe in turning the other cheek. I believe in using both fists. Wow. Okay. Yanni, how you doing? And Mallow Factor, what's going on? Freddie B, thank you so much. And King of Sorrows, Deep Griffin, and Keisha Black, Blackula rather. Brooks, how you doing? And Nas, all the way from England. All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about what happened in Montgomery, but making the most of the moment. And we're also going to talk about a situation, because usually Donovan and I on our podcast will talk about relationships or something like that. But we haven't had a chance to, because, he's still in Hawaii. But he'll be here, I'm sure, for that segment of a man who was tricked out of his home by his wife. So I'll show y'all the video, and then we'll have a discussion. And then I would like to share the link at that time so that you guys can come up and, ask a question, say what's on your mind. I should also say hello to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. All right. So, of course, by now, unless you live under a rock, you all have heard a lot about what happened in Montgomery, Alabama, where a Black security guard at the riverboat, I guess the walkway is what it was, he was asking a group of people who happened to be white to move their smaller boat. Was it a pontoon or something like that they call it? And they didn't want to do that. Now, the big giant riverboat was trying to dock. I guess it was coming in, and that's where it would normally dock. And they couldn't, because that little boat that belonged to the white group was like, no, we ain't moving. And of course, y'all saw them jump on the security guard, and then he threw up what people are saying, bat signal, and the rest is history, right? And so I saw a news conference, I guess they had today, where they listed the charges against some in the white party, and sounds like they're looking to re-interview the gentleman, Mr. Chair. Sounds like he is 42. They're looking to ask him some more questions. And it sounds like all of the charges so far are misdemeanor, so nothing major. Sounds like they also said there wasn't any damage to property or anything like that. So, they're kind of trying to deduce what it is. Now, the other thing is, we know, had it been the other way around, it would have been all kind of felonies all over the place, right? But since the white people were the aggressor, then, they're going to give them a little slap on the wrist, if you will. So the reason why I said we need to make the most of the moment is because when I thought of this thing that happened in Montgomery and all of the momentum and how excited everybody is to see Black unity and Black people, sticking up for each other and just having each other's back, right? I thought about the George Floyd protest, if you will. Y'all remember George Floyd, who was murdered by Derek Chauvin. And by the way, one of the other officers, Tao, I think his name is, he was sentenced to almost 5 years. But during the sentencing, he was not remorseful at all. He was just, and he read some sort of a scripture talking about the Bible tells us to follow our conscience, and just non-remorseful. So anyway, he's going, up the river for 5 years. But I thought about that. Y'all remember when, honestly, I feel like at that time, Black people, if we would have really just, stuck together, we could have pretty much gotten anything we wanted. Everybody was, oh my God, it's so terrible. What happened to George Floyd? And it was, and they were feeling sorry for Black people. Y'all remember Black Lives Matter? They raised the bag off of what happened to George Floyd. And so after that, we kind of, got rocked back to sleep. Y'all remember? It had a lot, in the Democratic Party who was like, okay, don't worry. We're going to get some sort of a George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, and it's going to do this and it's going to do that. Well, there is one, but it doesn't help us. It doesn't help us at all. It really speaks to that on the federal level, because that's all Joe Biden has jurisdiction over is the federal level. He doesn't have jurisdiction over state and local entities like the police, right? So with the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, it says, well, we are going to qualified immunity is not in there, but they're going to regulate officers on the federal level. So that's your Border Patrol, your FBI, your CIA, and people who work there. So there's no teeth in that, and obviously there's no teeth because ever since that bill has been in force, we've still seen the wholesale murder of Black people. So the point that I'm making is we were rocked to sleep. We were sold a false bill of goods by basically saying, okay, y'all, Black people, let us handle this and everything will be okay. And so we all kind of went back to our regular lives. The momentum died down, if you will, and we are probably worse off than we've been even after the murder of George Floyd. And so bringing it back to Montgomery, wouldn't it be nice if we made the most of the moment? Don't let this just be a feel-good, warm and fuzzy moment right now, because y'all know how we are as Black people. We get in the moment for just a moment, something else happens, and then we kind of like forget about it, right? So what are some of the things that we can, do to make the most of the moment? Well, you all know that the elections will be taking place in 2024, the presidential election and some other ones. And we know that the Democrats are going to be asking for our votes once again. Now, along with this warm and fuzzy feeling that we have of, some sort of Black unity, we need to at least now get on the same page as much as we can and say, you know what? The Democrats have been delivering us nothing specifically since we can remember, right? And we should not show up to the polls for them the next time, which is, next year in November, and deliver them the White House or anything else that they're looking for. We should think of other options or, force their hand, because the Democrats know that they're embattled in regards to Black people. They know that they're losing the Black vote, and they're losing a lot of it. So if we were to take this moment, the warm and fuzzy feeling moment of Montgomery, and say, all right, let's now make it something meaningful, then we would be a lot better off, because the Democrats know, everybody knows, right, that Black Americans, American descendants of slaves, we are asking for reparations, because we know that our ancestors were never paid. And even after slavery, our ancestors were robbed of land and life and everything else in between, right? And we're still going through that even to this day. And so the Democrats, especially, let's, stay with the Democrats, because I know somebody saying, well, what about the Republicans? We don't vote overwhelmingly for the Republicans. But a lot of the Democrats have been demonstrative about, I'm not giving y'all reparations now. Or, I'll be damned if I'm held responsible for something my ancestors did. Now that those two quotes came from the people who were in the White House, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who says she is a Black woman, right? Now, of course, Kamala, they've been sending her out everywhere, and she's talking to all the Negro organizations. She's giving them the talking points and the marching orders, whether they're radio hosts or YouTube people, like the Rollins and all of them, the NAACP, the Divine Nine, the churches, and anybody else you can think of, they've gotten their marching orders. Y'all know, and y'all saw, Brother Phil, he covered it on his podcast. They have been saying for years, this is the most important election. This is the election, most important election in our lifetime, right? And so, of course, they'll charge that to us. Y'all need to show up for us. This is so important because y'all know now they're going to start saying, if y'all don't want Trump to come back, y'all need to show up and put Joe Biden, back in the White House. But ask yourself, as a Black American, are things better for you now under Biden than they were Trump, or even if they're the same? You know what I mean? Now, I know that I've spoken to a lot of people, Black people, who have said, nah, things were better for me under Trump. Now, listen, don't get in your feelings. I'm not telling y'all who to vote for. I'm not telling you who not to vote for. I'm telling you to think. Think long and hard before you go in there. So that's part of making the most of the moment, right? Because we've seen a lot of times where something like that might happen, and unfortunately we see a lot of people standing by recording and not really jumping in and doing much. And so those brave brothers and sisters there in Montgomery, Alabama, they put their freedom and in some cases their life on the line, because those brothers didn't know that if those white people had anything on their boat, they might have, right? It could have, been the end for them. But they were like, forget it. It's either now or never. We're not going to let you do what you did to our brother, right? So we can't allow what they did to go in vain, right? The brother that was swimming across, the 16-year-old, might I add, he was 16, a child, jumped off the boat, because he sounds like he worked for the boat, jumped off, that's what they call it, Aquaman, right? Swam over there and put in work. Let's not let what he did go in vain. Let's, make the most of the moment. And all the other, chairman, because to be honest, he could have been doing a lot of time for what he did, but he wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking about his brother that was being jumped on by these people who claim to be the most civilized people in the world, right? And we know better. We know they're not the most civilized people, because it takes somebody to be very uncivilized to not take no for an answer and beat somebody up because they're doing their job. And how about the sisters that was there on the scene? They was like, all right, brothers, y'all ain't got to worry about these she-bears that's running around here, with the other party. We got it. There's a lot of sisters that jumped in the melee, and they handled business too. Let's not let what they did go in vain. Now, I want to take it a step further, because I don't know if you guys noticed, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments. I don't know if you guys noticed, especially in regards to the music and a lot of the filth that is put out there for us, and y'all know who's putting it out there, right? I'm seeing a movement of Black people who are like, you know what? Nah, we don't want that. We're good. And wouldn't it be nice if we also capitalized on that and said, entertainment industry, thank you for thinking of us, but we are going to wholeheartedly shun that type of stuff. Whether it's your Sexy Reds, your Cardi B's, your Sukihanas, the drill music with the rappers on the men's side. And I guess there's some women who do the drill music and all. Wouldn't it be nice if we just make a one, mighty move and says, we're shunning it. We're going to shun it. If you want to, pipe music or any other form of entertainment into our community, it better be of quality, because we know y'all don't give y'all people that stuff. And I don't know if y'all saw Meek Mill, he did an interview where he says, oh no, the powers that be, they pay rappers, because I don't consider most of those people rappers, they pay them more money to rap about the things that they're rapping about. Because if you listen to some of it, it's really all the same, right? And so there's a whole host of things that we could do to make the most of this moment. All right, we could take it a step further. What about practicing group economics? Since we are, happy, it sounds like we're going to be celebrating August 5th, as a national Black holiday from here on out. While we are doing that, why don't we talk about group economics? Why don't we say, okay, let's use that day in remembrance to build some Black businesses, build some Black schools, or basically keep the money that we see in our community in America, more of it home. Y'all have heard this a million times. We give away 97% of the money that we realize as Black people in America every year, keeping probably 3 or less than 3% of that. So those are the conversations we can be having while we're all happy about what happened on this past weekend. So I'm going to get to you guys' comments. Let's see who's in the building. And again, Donovan will be on here. He's making his way back to his room. He's still on in Hawaii enjoying himself. And thank you all for the comments. I love and appreciate y'all. And the Prince of Paraphernalia, aka POP. What's going on with you? Joseph, Joel, Jude, and Machad. How are you? Machad, how you doing? And let's see here. Fishing with Rick. How are you doing today? And Tracy, what's going on? And Yanni says they have charged 3 white men who started it. Yeah, so I mean, because if you think about it, it's like there was so many people involved, and they cannot give anybody else more charges than they would give those white men. I mean, they started it, right? And so, like I said, if it was the other way around, y'all know doggone well, those Black people would have got hit with a whole bunch of felonies. Alabama, which is a super racist state, has a very racist governor. Oh yeah, they would have threw them under the jail, but the world is watching, so they can't really do that, right? Hello, Mike Nice. What's going on with you? And Freddie says chairman of the chairman of the board. And Pop, you say where is that chair? That's a good question. Is it now like evidence or something? Exhibit A. The memes are hilarious. And Seafields, and if I didn't already, how you doing? It says, peace, Israelite queen. We are not Black, Negro, colored, African American, and most definitely not Hebrew Israelite. We are Israelites, and those were Israelites defending other Israelites. Okay, all right. And Mallow Factory says, don't give up no more video. A video of what? And Jeanette, what's going on with you? Happy birthday, girl. And Poppy says, two towel, don't drop the soap. Right. And Vaughn, how are you doing? And D. Griffin says he won't do 5 years. You talk about two towel. They'll let him out early. Hopefully they won't, because the judge was like, I thought you would have been a little bit more remorseful, but you're not. He said, you didn't come up here and say, you're sorry or nothing. The judge was like bewildered, like, damn, most people, and this is regarding George Floyd for you guys to come in late. Most people be like, I'm so sorry, it's just not who I am. I was just following, instructions. But he was cracked open his Bible and read something from Matthew, and he was just, so yeah, it's all fun and games until you, but police officers, they rarely put them in, gen pop. They usually get protective custody or something like that. But people in protective custody, they've been touched before, so it could happen. And Malefactor said, whatever happened to those other cops in Minnesota? So it sounds like they're going to be sentenced as well, because the judge said to the Asian cop, he was like, what you did was far worse than the other two. I can't remember. I know one's name is Kang. That was the brother, and the white guy. He says what you did was, I think he said, was far worse or far less. But he was bewildered that he wasn't apologetic at all. Stacey says, I'm not voting. There's a lot of people that's not. Seafield says the port there back in the day is where our enslaved ancestors were brought there and bought by Christians. So why are we still calling ourselves Christians and worshiping the gods of our oppressor? I don't call myself a Christian, but you're absolutely right. That was a slave port. So I also saw a video of some sisters that said they were doing some homage or something like that to the ancestors that day or the day before. And they're like, I don't think it's a coincidence. So Interesting. Easy. How are you doing? Thank you so much. And again, Donovan should be on here shortly. And D. Griffin says, I'm not voting. Also, he's speaking to Stacy. And Tracy says, it's not fair to say we because I wasn't rocked to sleep. Quite sure many more hasn't been. I'm doing empty ballot vote. No one is good enough. No, yeah. So, of course, when I say we, I'm just talking about a collective. I know not you and definitely not I. We're very aware as to what's going on. I'm just saying in general, us as a collective. And Stacey says, since the Democrats did nothing, they get nothing. Ain't that how it's supposed to work? I think so, right? LL, how you doing? Jay the Informant, what's going on with you? And Kimmy says, I'm not voting for either party, but especially the Democrats. Yeah, and they know that already. But yet you would think they would say, okay, damn, let's write them a check or something. You know, something. But no, they did that because they just think they can send Kamala out there. And of course, you know, Joe Biden is going to get on all the radio stations and the YouTube channels and everything. And you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You know, you think he's going to be able to just do it again because y'all know we, and I'm not talking about us per se, but we as black people, we do forget a lot, right? We have a very selective memory. Brother Reggie, what's going on with you? Chicago News, how you doing? It says same place where 4 black girls were killed in a black church bombing, right? And Seafield says voting state and local, we can hold them accountable more. President on a national level, well, let's just say it's the one standing behind the president who's calling the shots, ones we don't see. Exactly. Who was that, right? The ones that's more than likely sliding the white envelopes and other esoteric entities, if you will. Janelle, how you doing? It says, I watched it. Man, oh man. Yep, Aquaman, that's what they're calling him. And Roots Tracker, how you doing? So they're saying the 16-year-old is white. I don't no, he looked like he was black to me. He's pretty black. Now I did see a white guy that looked like he was on the staff. If y'all watched the video, he was there early on. So when the security guard was getting beat up, he tried to run in and, you know, intervene, but they pushed him out the way. So I did see a white guy trying to also help. I don't know if y'all saw that as well. Harmony and peace, tranquility. How you doing? Oh, thank you so much. This is my it's too hot to do anything to it hairstyle. No, yeah, he wasn't white. And Ebony, how are you doing? And Chicago News says there are some Hispanics trying to claim they with us after we did the work. Sound familiar? Now, y'all ain't been with us now. You know, y'all in fact have been very clear that you do not want to unify with us. So it's like, cut it out, you know? All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. Brother Roy, oh, how you doing? And Nikki Red, what's going on? Black America, how are you doing? Says we are not a group. We barely have families. Well, you know what I mean. Fishing with Rick. It says they wouldn't play. They wouldn't play groups like Public Enemy. Oh yeah, you talking about the record? Yeah. Well, you know, in the 90s when I came up, you know, when music was really becoming conscious and stuff, you know, it was cool until we started to wake up, and then it was like, nah, we can't have that, you know. And then the conscious music is now underground. When the music that we're hearing now would have been considered, I would think, underground at that time. Monica, how you doing? Says we're actually moving the needle in that direction. Hence their campaign to destroy Lizzo, because we stated we will not accept that degenerate behavior and promotion of black women being overweight. I don't know what's going on with Lizzo. I tend to think there's something else going on because, you know, not even that long ago, Lizzo was considered like the sweetheart, right? The darling of, I don't know, pop, whatever type of music she sings. And as far as promotion of black women being overweight, you still, I feel like you still, it's up to you individually, because Lizzo being fat, and as she calls herself that, so I'm not being derogatory, has nothing to do with what I put in my mouth. You know, I think it's an individual choice. So it's like, especially women, grown women, like, and I'm not saying this about you, but I'm just saying, Are we to the point where we are easily influenced like that? We see Lizzo being big. It's like, oh, I could be big too. I mean, we know that. Let's keep it but a lot of times that's unhealthy. Now, I don't know what's going on with Lizzo's genetic makeup or, her body, but she says she's healthy. I take her word for it. But typically people who are overweight are not healthy. 22, Ronan, how you doing? He says, Demetra, Ghost Watcher here. Great show. Well, thank you so much. And Keisha, how you doing? He says, and the white women who were swinging and kicking everybody too. Yeah, sounds like they did not get charged. They ain't going to charge them. Mike Lewis, what's going on? Thank you so much. And all right, yeah, I'm behind. Let me catch up. Oh, no, I'm not. I thought I was. Okay, cool. Oh, no, I think I skipped a whole bunch of comments. That's what happened. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, Janelle Donovan's living life. He's going to be going back to California soon, tomorrow, hopefully. He's on the military flights where I guess you kind of like have to be on standby or they can cancel whenever they want. So hopefully he can get back home. But he says, if I don't, I get there when I get there. He's not stressing. Let's see here. Chicago News says chairman of the board's t-shirts. Yeah, I saw a brother. It don't sound like he wasted no time getting the t-shirts made. He had one like right away. Basically, yeah, the man with the shirt and all of that. And Seafield says, let's stop killing each other in the streets. Let Montgomery be that. He said, hashtag we stand together. Yeah, that's another thing that we can champion. Let's be kind to one another. Let's really have some Black love going on, right? When we think of Black love, we think of, a relationship. But Black love means that I love my brother and my sister. And you, as Brother Jonell says, he hasn't been on here in a while. I'm going to have to check on him. You protect what you love. If we really loved each other as a people, then we would do our best to protect each other, right? We wouldn't do harmful things to each other. So you're absolutely right. We need to put that in on making the most of the moment. And 22, Ronan, am I saying it right, Ronan? He says August 5th, 2023. Where were you when everything changed, right? Now, that was on a Saturday. Most people didn't even get wind of it until the next day that it happened. And you saw one video and then you saw a whole bunch of videos, different angles and things like that. And so a lot of the different footage that has come out has actually exonerated a lot of people, right? Because from the original angle, I mean, you always saw the security guard being attacked, but you saw so much more going on. Like they said, the brother with the chair, his defense is, well, I hit the woman because she was rolling around swinging on people. So, depending on what the laws there in Alabama, if they have a stand your ground, and a lot of stand your ground case states, you can neutralize the threat up until. So, I'm sure if that, I don't know why Alabama wouldn't have that on the books, but if they do, he could use that. Well, she was kind of, I don't know what she was on. So I had to neutralize her. And he did. I don't think she was able to do much after that. Keisha says Asian TikTokers were complaining about Tao or something like that. I think that's his name. Tao since 2022. So they basically were saying that he shouldn't have been charged because he was the cop that was standing there, not intervening, because he was talking to the people that were on the sidewalk, like, "Hey, stop! What are you doing?" That type of thing, and he was just. And, so yeah, they all got charged and found guilty. But that's how they are, though. They don't like their people to have to answer to anything. The case of Akai Gurley in New York. He was shot by a police officer, Peter Lyang. He was shot into a dark hallway. He was scared, right? The agent officer there in New York, he was scared. There was no, like a lot of times in some of those apartment buildings, there's no lights. They're not working. So instead of, maybe going to get help or trying to survey the situation a little bit more, he shot into a dark hallway and he killed Akai. And he was actually found guilty. But his people raised so much money to try to get him off, and they did. And the black DA was like, well, he was found guilty, but you're not gonna, lock him up, and he got away scot-free. Same thing with Latasha Harlins in 1991 in Los Angeles. The Korean Soon Do June or something, whatever her name is. The Asian lady was shot in the back of the head. She was found guilty as well, but she got a slap on the wrist. Never did a day in jail. So they're good on organizing, making sure they people don't do no time. Nile Oracle, how you doing? It says ancestor blessings, one love queen. Thank you so much. Back at you. Royal T225, how you doing? And Ashley, what's going on with you? And 22, he says, DK, the white TikTok reaction is funny. Quips we could not come up with. Yeah, and I've actually seen quite a few white people saying, well, I mean, that's what they get. You can't put your hands on people. So, but then I've seen a lot of them too. Probably most white people are, well, that's not right. And not, you can't touch people's boats and all that other stuff. So as he feels says, yes, I saw the 16-year-old white boy that got punched by one of them bigots. That was at the time the riverboat assistant captain was being jumped. So yeah, so he was there as well trying to help. So I don't know if anybody's really made too much mention of him, but he was there trying to help. And Roost Tracker, he says, greetings to you, Sister Demetra. He says WFLA News was saying the 16-year-old is white. I never said he was because I don't know. Oh, no. Yeah, so sounds like there was a white 16-year-old there. He was there first, right? He was trying to help. But then they punched him, and I don't know, maybe he got scared, but he did try to do something. But the guy that was swimming, that was a 16-year-old that I think most people are talking about. And the news doesn't seem like they've really covered it a lot, because my dad, I was talking to him this morning, and he said, yeah, did you see what happened in Alabama? I said, yeah, I saw it, Daddy. He says, it makes me mad because, we didn't do enough. And I said, oh, because, my dad ain't on social media or nothing like that. I said, you watching the news coverage, huh? He said, yeah. I said, now they ain't going to show you everything. I said, trust me, Daddy. We showed up and we showed out. I said, and I told him to have my little brother show him the footage of what actually happened, because the news ain't going to show everything, right? So, the news is, they're trying to cover everything up. There he is, Mr. Hawaii 5-0. He made it. He out there. Look at him, got a big old grin on his face. What y'all? You had the Speedos on?
No, I haven't got to the Speedos yet. But no, when you're on a military base, your network gets wiped out, wipes out all your passwords. And when you try to get on the internet here, and it just took everything. And then getting on base was like 15, 20 minutes to get on base. So
but yet you're here, and we're here for the most important part, the part that you're absolutely going to love in just a couple of minutes. But we're just kind of finishing up talking about making most of the moment for Montgomery. Earl joins. How you doing? He says, hey, Demetra, did the brother with the chair get free? Yes, so it sounds like he is free. Sounds like he's free. And they want to talk to him again. So I guess they talked to him, but they want to interview him. But it sounds like most of the charges are, if not all of them, are misdemeanors, because, they ain't trying to give those good white folks no real time, But again, had it been the other way around, man. And Angela Reddick, he says, and how you doing, by the way? He says, hi, Demetra. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate y'all for the compliments. I just put my hair up as high. I'm sweating right now. Let's see. It's 100 degrees, and the highest was 104.
No, that's not true. You see me in all my glory, and you just can't help yourself.
Yeah, look at you, just glowing and shiny. Your average logical thinker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And Roost Tracker says, rapper Tory Lanez sentenced to 10 years. That's effed up. I don't care. I know some people gonna be mad at me. That's effed up. 10 years.
Didn't he appeal? Didn't he appeal the initial conviction?
He tried to, but they said that he didn't win his appeal. So the sentencing, that's effed up. I'm sorry. 10 years. There's a lot of discrepancies in that case. And it's
don't worry, his daddy will take care of everything.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, 10 years. That's a lot of time. Because it don't even sound like he was charged with shooting her. It was
Right.
like having a gun or something like that.
Right. And how much time did Megan get for telling lies and all this other stuff? How much time did she get?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Wow, how unusual.
Yeah, that's a bummer. And it actually makes me sad. I mean, I know a few Tory Lanez songs. I got a 30-year-old daughter, so she keeps me abreast of that kind of stuff. It makes me sad because it's like you have a black man. And I'm not saying, I think they all could have made better choices. I really do. But it's so unclear as to actually what happened. And it sounds like the LA district attorney and them, they were really out to get him. But 10 years for something that's just nobody, it was somewhat, it's sad, and what's also sad to me, and I'm gonna get to the rest of these comments, is that I saw a lot of black women. I still see a lot of black women talking about, oh, Megan. Oh, protect black women. But it's like, what about her friend? She slept behind 3 of her friends' dudes. Tory being one of them. Slept behind them. And her friend, I forget her name, is a black woman. But nobody cares about her. Does she not deserve protection? And is it just because it's Megan that we're, and when I say we black women, not all of us, run around talking about, oh, Megan's a victim, and I don't know, she may be, but it's like you don't have anything for her friend who was a black woman. That's why I said, sometimes we're very selective about the things that we throw around. But yeah, that makes me pretty sad. That he got 10 years. Let's see here. And Black America says, yes, black women are easily influenced. Look at Love and Hip Hop. Look at Real Housewives. Look at Hair Weave. Look at BBLs. Our women are the most impressionable. I don't know if we're the most impressionable. Because I see I see black women with BBLs, but I see more Mexicans with BBLs than black women. So as far as us being more impressionable, y'all got to remember, it's not that many of us. So, of course, when we do something that's extreme or deemed to be extreme, of course, it's amplified. But I don't know if we are the most impressionable. And I beg to differ with that, because who is everybody trying to look like? They trying to look like black women. So who's really the most impressionable? We know black women are the blueprint. We know everybody trying to look like a black woman, be like a black woman. They don't want our struggles, but they want our swag. They want all of that. So I don't agree with that. Malefactor says, I put August 5th, 2023 in my calendar, chair day. Yeah, Black America that's crazy that he got 10 years for that. And BHIC Studies, how you doing? Says it was actually the Chinese judge who changed the recommendation sentence for the DARA Akai Gurley case. But if you go back and look at the footage, it was also a black DA involved in that decision as well, if you look back. Seafield says, at the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries, August is Freedom Month because that's the time our enslaved ancestors were brought here in 1619. Okay. And Stacy says, that pissed me off what happened to Latasha Harlins. Yeah, and that she never had the answer for that. Let's see here. And you also say, I'm voting for Trump to close the border, period. I just saw something where Tim Scott, who's also running for president on the Republican side, a black man, he says that if he becomes president, which that he is going to finish the wall that Trump was building. So
let's do the math on that. 4 years in office, 54 miles of wall built. It's going to take him a little over 100 and something years to complete the wall.
Right. Let's see here. And hello, Alex. How are you doing? And let's see here. Angela says, yes, Tory got 10 years. It's not acceptable to abuse and maim a black woman. 10 years is light for shooting a black woman in her feet. Well, I think I followed the case pretty well. And it was just all over the place. And a lot of people are shocked that they can even come to a unanimous decision over it. Now, I don't know. No, they only really know what happened to her, but there's so much. It just, how about this? It wasn't beyond a shadow of a doubt or a reasonable doubt. Put it that way. And T Fields says, I'm Alabama born and raised. All right. And the Tony Bone, how are you doing? And Zay, what's going on with you? He says, will he be deported after serving? That's a good question because he is Canadian, so he might be, right? And Mike says, Sister Demetri, I have to take a moment of silence. I just took a bite of this meatloaf and I need somebody to rescue me before I eat it all. You know what? Well, enjoy that. Who made it for you? Did you make it for yourself? Where did you get it from? I'm curious. Yanni says, hey, Donovan, Hercules. Hey, Moni, what's going on with you? Oh, right on time. Huh? Hold on. Much Detroit love, Donovan, my brown sugar boo. And he says, Demetri, looking real cute lipstick. Thank you so much. Beautiful purple. Embracing me this month. Common sense is not the whole year. August for sure. And happy birthday to you. You said all the way up until August 31st. Okay, we got you. I thought she was flexing for everybody. Oh, Donovan must have a delayed. I think he has a delayed reaction. All right, and so, oh no, you get. Oh, I see it's delayed. Jay Bubba, how you doing? He says Tim Scott won't win. Dog catcher. Nah, he's playing games. And TMC, how you doing? Yeah, they want to look like us. Brandy, what's going on with you? And Albie, what is going on? And Moni, you say, I was so proud to see Black people helping the security guard. Many singers like Stephanie Mills, Linnell, Brother Tariq, and somebody else. He says, help legal fees. Yeah, I saw Stephanie Mills said that she is willing to do a benefit concert for, and all the proceeds will go to legal fees if they need it. Oh, Mike, you made it. That good, huh? I'm not eating meat right now. It's been 3 weeks for me, so I can't see when I will eat meat again. Right now, I'm feeling really good about not doing it, so I have to take your word for it. Bivalent, what's going on? He says he was the co-captain, not a security guard. Oh, I was just reading about it. Okay, so he was a co-captain. Got it. Shiloh, how you doing? He says, much love, Sister Demetri and Brother Donovan. He says the Montgomery, Alabama incident made me quite proud of my Black people. I hope it resonates. Yes, me too. Randy, how are you doing? He says, I was waiting for this. Yes, indeed. And Gilbert, how are you? He says, listening here. He says, big props to the entire community down in Alabama. They have no idea what that display of unity did for the community. That's what I'm saying. We got to capitalize on that. We got to really make the most of the moment because this, again, with George Floyd and the protests, we were, and then it was like, we got, as I said, I mean everybody, not as a collective, not us per se, but we got rocked back to sleep. We let the Democrats say, the Congressional Black Caucus and all them, don't worry, we got it. We going back to Washington and we gonna make legislation to make sure that something is done about it. And here we are.
Hey, real quick, Demetri, could you kind of talk about the very group that's going to say that violence is not the answer and all this other stuff and blah, 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 because that civil rights generation is like, wait a minute, y'all, let's give them time. Let's take some time. Violence is not the answer. What do you do when you have no money, you are homeless, the Democrats aren't doing a thing for you, you have no other cheek to turn, now your ass is turned up. What else do you do at this point? So when I hear somebody tell me that violence is not the answer, well, why aren't you telling that to the white supremacists? But you're telling it to me.
Right. Yeah, violence is never the answer when the tables are turned, right? Oh my God. But nah. We, as they say, eye for an eye. What you do to me, I'm gonna do back to you. Ain't no more turning the cheeks around here, Hello, Kelvin. How are you? You says, hello, I am Bama raised. Mobile, that is. And Gilbert, you says, shit. And Bibline says, when in Rome. Yes, indeed. And Gilbert says, violence is always the answer. Okay. All right. So let's transition here a little bit. as I said, normally on our podcast, Donovan and I will talk about relationships. So we're just going to kind of roll it all up into one show. So we're going to transition to a different subject. And of course, we can talk about anything else after that. D. Griffin says, it is when someone lays a finger on me. You better believe it. Gilbert says, put your hands on me and you're going to be pulling back a nub. They lucky I wasn't there. I wanted to be there. And Angela says, Demetra, I'm vegan and the plant-based Beyond Beef is really good once you season it. Well, you know, I have really taken it back to where I was when I first started. I was a vegan. I started in 2014 and I was that for 27 years. And there was no Beyond Meat or anything like that. So I'm not doing any of that either, because if I'm going to eat the Beyond Meat or the Impossible Burger, I might as well just eat a regular burger, because the calories and the sugar and the chemicals and the stuff they put in that Beyond Burger to make it taste like meat, it's suspect. So I do mushrooms, oyster mushrooms for meat, and other mushrooms and stuff. And sometimes I just don't even do those. So.
But we're talking about the transition over to the thing. But Demetra has a very famous saying when somebody is attacking her. What's that famous saying that you always live by?
Actually, I got it from Charlemagne, who says, you know, when Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. And Charlemagne and Demetra says, no, when they go low, we take it to the floor right with their ass.
Yeah, in high school, Demetra was known to take you off the planet. She believed in taking you off the planet if she has to engage you.
You know, I'm like, as long as you don't put your hands on me, we straight. You can say whatever you want to say, but you put your hands on me, that is a game changer. My father, you know, he says one day, okay, he was at my house and we was in the yard and I saw a spider and I was getting ready to kill it. And my dad says, don't kill it. It's a Muslim. And I said, it's a Muslim. He said, yeah, it's doing what it's doing. It's in nature. It's submitting to the will of God. He said, now, if it come in your house, it ain't Muslim no more. You can kill it. So that's kind of my motto. As long as you don't put your hands on me, you will keep breathing. Tracy says, Marlon Wayans is catching heat because of his comments made about the incident in Alabama, which is well deserved. Yeah, I saw he tried to backtrack. Say, oh, I was joking. It's like, no, he wasn't, brother. You was trying to do the kumbaya, let's all get along, and people handed you your behind, and now you're trying to pretend like people's plans, like you was not playing, okay? But you want to do that again. Okay, so I saw this video on somewhere, Instagram or whatever, of this brother that's having some issues, right? And I'm gonna let him explain it to you. So let me bring it up. Move my little thing here. You all right, Donovan? Okay, let's see. Is it this one? All right, so here it is. Here we go. And then I'm going to show you the other video.
He was going to call the police on me. My white wife said she was going to call the police on me and tell them that I choked her. I pulled her hair. I've never laid a hand on her. Never laid a hand on any woman. I just can't believe that my wife is serving me with a protection for what?
For protection from abuse. This is for you. This is your copy. Yep.
What does that mean?
What's that?
A protection from abuse.
There was something going on between you two.
Yes.
that she didn't like, all right? So she filed a protection from abuse order against you.
Okay. Remove this. Put this one up. Hold on. And that was his campaign. I guess he's selling shirts. Stop abuse against men or something like that. All right, here we go. And then I cut this one short, but you guys can get the gist.
Maybe I should wait for the police to arrive.
Oh no, we talked to the police already.
Yeah,
They said
and
it's
you can't come in the house. You don't.
No,
can't.
we
So we don't
can.
have a
You have a
protection from abuse
PFA
warrant.
against
Yeah.
our father,
It's
but
not
not
against
us.
us. We talked to them. We're allowed in the house.
Yeah,
We live here.
our stuff is there.
You don't live here.
Well, we do, and our stuff is in the house that we bought. It's our property, so we can touch it and take it. Our dad's property is also here that he paid for, that he worked very hard for. The longer this takes, the harder it's going to be. We just want to get our stuff and go.
Okay, if you'll wait outside, I'll go inside and get all
And
the
touch
things
all of
and
our
bring it
things.
down.
Touch our things that we paid for. That's our property.
I'll bring it out for you.
No, it's not your right
I've
to do
packed
that.
it up.
You didn't have to touch our
You
stuff.
realize by doing this, you're not letting your stepchildren into the house, right?
Your stepchildren. You are
Former
legally married to our
stepchildren. Even if you are
dad.
getting divorced, you're not letting your former stepchildren into their own house. We've lived here for just as long as you have.
Okay. So toward the end of that, they were allowed to go in there and briefly get their things. Now, from what I understand, the brother was married, as he said, to a white woman. I don't know why he wanted to tell us that. And it looks like his children there are biracial as well. He's married to a white woman, and he says that she used the system to put him out the house. And it sounds like he was saying it's a thing that women are using now to file, because I guess he says she filed for the divorce and didn't tell him, and then said, "Oh, he's abusing me," and the police came out and served him with a protective order. He had to, get a couple of things and leave. And so he says it was her strategy to be in the house, so that way when the divorce goes forward, then she can get the house. Now, sounds like he had the house before he married her, because it sounds like maybe the children lived there as well. It seemed like they were a little older. They didn't seem like they were minors. And at first she wouldn't let them get their things, but she did allow them eventually to go do it, as I said. But he went on to say at the end of the other video that it's criminal, that what women are doing now, as far as saying that I'm abused, to make a move on marital property. And he's like, there should be a law against this, and he's finding out that it's a thing. So he says these women are being told to do these things in order to get the property. And so, in summation, it sounds like his wife, who he said is white, I'm just reiterating, she stole his house. And now he's got to answer for a domestic violence, claim, which he says he was vehement about. I've never touched her. This is surprising. Now, when I went into the comments, a lot of people were like, "You probably did," and a lot of women, I ain't gonna lie, "You probably did do something to her. What did you do to her?" And all of that. And he was like, I've never put my hands on her at all. So I'm interested in seeing what Donovan thinks and what you all think. But let me see who else came into the comment section really quick. I need to eat my Wheaties for this. I already know. And let's see here. Randy says, you guys have no idea how that video resonated around the world. It's all we talk about up here in Canada. Yes, that's right. Here in Canada, they said that video was the kind of awakening Black folks around the world have been waiting for, believe it or not. The world is looking up to Black Americans for leadership, and you guys came through. A lot of the time, y'all behaviors can be hard to love, but you came through this time. You made the world proud. Thank you. And I would say you're welcome from the people in Alabama, because they deserve all of the credit. Donovan, talking about, I'll let you read your own comment. I'm done. And let's see here. Just want to say hello to everybody who came on here. Sun Kisser, how you doing? Brandon, what's going on to you? Salute to you as well. I'm reading your comments, and I'm going to put the link up so you guys can come on if you want, just to speak your piece. And Buck Wild, how you doing? All right, Donovan, what say you?
Well, this is a very good topic for the simple fact that I have a little experience with it. And I will tell you this, from law, in law school, there's been precedents that this is how you do it. There's a blueprint in how you get child support and how you get divorced. When you have a no-fault divorce, there's a process that goes in. 9/10 of the law is called possession. If you've got 9/10 of possession, most cases, you occupy the house, you're going to get the house in a divorce proceeding and all that other stuff. So women do this, and I'm not trying to bash women. I'm just telling you the facts of how it works. How many of my friends, Demetra, that were going through divorces ended up on my couch? A whole gaggle of them.
You had two at one time. Donovan had two friends at one time staying with him because, their wife, kind of did some janky stuff. I was like, damn, this must be a refuge for
Yeah.
Correction for men that got
Right.
dirty.
Right. But you know, I tell brothers all the time, do not leave your home until the courts tell you to. You have just as much right to that home as she does. And if you had the home before her and you ain't got it in writing, it ain't gonna matter. It doesn't matter at all. I'm gonna give you guys a good example of what my mom did with me and my brother. We have stakes in each of our homes. So I own a third of my mom's home, own a third of my brother's home, and they own a third of my home. So if I got married and then I got divorced, guess what? That chick can't get the house. We would buy her out of the third, not the whole house, the third of what the person gets into. So, that's a little tip for some of those people that are out there. But my experience with this, Demetra, it took a year. I was in the court system for a year for a civil harassment case that had no merit whatsoever. It was a total lie. And why? The woman assaulted me, and then she tried to preempt me suing her and her organization by saying that I was civilly harassing her. And women do this stuff all the time. They're strong and independent until until they can't get what they want, and then they go get the white man. And it happens all the time to brothers. And we tell you sisters this all the time, but you guys don't give a damn unless it's your son, unless it's your father, unless it's somebody that you care about that has to go through that system. I don't believe men say these things because, we're trying to punk out of our responsibilities. But there are a lot of accusations against men out there, especially with their children. You see it all the time where the mother is rehearsing the child to say, oh, my dad was inappropriate with me, or, dad did this, or he has a girlfriend, or, whatever the deal is. Fellas in the chat, put a 1 down there if you know what I'm talking about, or have experienced or know somebody that goes through this. This happens to men all the time. And what's really sad is our sisters, and I'm glad, things are starting to change for the better. Our sisters are doing this for, I don't know if they're just pissed off and mad naturally or whatever, but all you're doing is helping the white man incarcerate black men. That's all you're doing, or giving us a record so that we can't get jobs and we can't do those other things, and vice versa. But it's more so women that make false accusations in the court system than men.
Well, I've seen a lot of people put 1s off in the chat. But I just want to reiterate to y'all that black man wasn't complaining about no sister. He made it a point to say a white woman, or my wife is white, or whatever. So he made it a point to say that a white woman did that to him. So I just wanted to make that clear, and I know that does happen a lot. Men get the short end of the stick in, divorces or whatever the case is. I think it sucks horribly to lie on somebody, to try to get whatever it is you're trying to get by lying, because I don't think.
What happened to Chris? All of that stuff, unnecessary money being spent, all that stuff for what? Nothing. At the end of the day, nothing.
Yeah. Sugar Unique, how you doing? He says, no, he put a 1. He says, and I'm not a brother. He says, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of people put 1s in the chat. I'm gonna just hold my commentary just for a minute. I'm just gonna hold it in. Monica, you say biblical doctrine says that our Creator made law that His people, the black race, is not to mix their bloodline with any other culture. All other cultures do not have that doctrine, including whites. Okay, and then Tracy says, never said nothing bad about a dad. Let the children find out about the father on their own. Yeah, and I think that's the way it should be. Now, unless the dad is just a horrible individual, the children probably need to know the truth, and then other way around. You let that child form their own opinion. There's nothing worse than a bitter parent telling the child, your mama ain't this, your daddy ain't that, because indeed that might be your experience with that, the child's other parent, but that might not be this experience with that child, y'all chemistry, whatever didn't work out or whatever the case is, but do not taint that child. That is called alienation of affection, is what it is.
Yeah, and you think about it, you got some people that are dirtbag husbands. They're just terrible, but they're good fathers. And you got some guys that are terrible fathers, but they're great grandfathers. It's just something, if they're bad at one thing, they go to the next level and they're really good at it. Maybe they're, remorsing for the mistakes that they made and all that other stuff. You just don't know. But when a good example, like my oldest son, alienation of affection happened with my oldest son against me. And he's been so brainwashed that his mind is blown because all the years his mother was been putting that negative and his grandparents were putting that negative stuff in his mind that I ain't shit and this, that, and blah, 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 right? And then when the truth came out, he didn't know what to do. This is what I've been told all of my life. And then here are the facts that show that it wasn't true at all. And so, me and my oldest son, even to this day, and I'll let you guys know this, we're estranged for that to this very day. But see, I can't blame his mother at this point because he's a grown man. And you've got the facts. You need to make a decision. We can't get those years back. And see, ladies, you guys don't understand that. When you ruin that relationship, just like they had said earlier, the kids will find out later on. Me and my son will never get those years back. We will never get those years back. But now you can't blame the mother. It's on him to be a man and say, hey, let's just move forward from where we're at.
Yeah. And Vic 222, how you doing? He says, I'm in a divorce now with my wife. Just found out she opened up over 10 credit cards in my name using my social security number. See, I take her ass to court. I show.
Oh, brother, she is sticking it to you and the system. As long as you guys are married, that is joint. You guys are equally responsible.
Not that he's not responsible unless if they were separated.
Yeah, that's different. I'm just saying, in that aspect, right? Yeah. But for the people that don't know, you can't steal your wife's money and she can't steal her husband's money when you're married. It's joint stuff.
Yeah, but I would imagine though she still needs his permission to use his social security card.
Yeah, we know the minor preliminaries to it, but a lot of people think, oh well, I've got my money, let's say we're not going through divorce, and you're just dealing with that. I got my money, you got your money. It doesn't work that way. If I went to Demetra, me and Demetra were married, Demetra and I were married, and I totally just emptied her bank account because I'm on the account. There's nothing she could do about it because our money's our money.
Yeah. If it's, joint and all of that, but at the separation, then you on the hook for your own debt and all of that. And you can't open up a credit card in somebody's name without their knowledge, even if you are married, right? Because it takes a signature and all of that. Martin says, just as an old story, I don't feel sorry for him in no aspect. This is what he chose rather. When you sleep with a devil, common sense, she should have had him a recorder at the end of the day. Yeah, well, sounds like she set him up from what he was saying. That's just what he's saying. And Seafield says we're in a spiritual battle, so don't expect physical battles to save us. Absolutely. TG Hamilton, how you doing? He said he's not responsible automatically. Black America says put a credit freeze on your credit. And I skipped the comment. Hold on. And then he says, no, I just did 25 flat years in jail. I had no knowledge. So yeah, she can't do that. But put the white man on her. She using your credit and all of that, put her ass in jail, file a claim against her. Yeah, you just can't do that. He says, I just took it. I just looked it up. It's against the law. Yeah, that's against the law. Yeah, you can't do that to nobody because it requires a signature. And, when you get married, it doesn't say, well, I can sign for you. And you still need a person's permission, right? And the credit card company wants you to get permission because they don't want stuff like that to come back. You say, I didn't sign that. It's fraud. And so now they're out of a bunch of money because they have to make that right, So they prefer people being right standing.
Yeah, exactly. But joint, I'm talking about joint stuff and you're going through a divorce, she can take all that money and do all this other stuff. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so you said TG Hampton says actually that's not entirely true. My ex forged my signature and withdrew funds from an account that I was only named on. The bank advised me to take him to court. Well, if the bank allowed him to take money out of your account that only you were on, then they need to be held liable too. I was a personal banker, and you have to be on that account. You can't just say, I'm somebody's wife or I'm their husband, and it'll be like, great. What's your name? My name is John Brown. Okay, John Brown, let me see your ID and let's see if you're on the account. Well, we don't see you on this account at all. It don't matter, I'm a husband. It do matter. You ain't on this account. Have a nice day. Because it's against the law to do that. You can't give people access because, I don't know, maybe y'all are estranged. Maybe y'all separated. You know what I mean? So the bank actually can be held liable for that as well.
Now, what Demetria's not telling you guys is, how many of you guys saw the movie Set It Off? The part that was played by Vivica Fox, that was Demetria's part.
Wow. Stacy says, when my grandfather was sick with cancer, his wife got credit cards in his name and ran them up. Yeah, so I mean, it just I you know, maybe I'm just naive to a lot of things. I just don't know where those evil people, where do they come from? You know, somebody's battling for their life, and you just think about going on a shopping spree. That's just like, you don't think there's a hot place somewhere for you. You don't think you're gonna get that back. It's crazy.
Well, Demetria, doesn't this go back to what you were saying about us old, decrepit men that get these younger girls, and then when the girl wipes everything out, what were we expecting? Don't you always say that?
No, because I would say this. I want to be, you know, I think I'm gonna be nice today, depending on which way you go. I'm gonna go which way you go, brother. I think that y'all should be able to have a young girlfriend and not be taken to the cleaners. I believe that. I believe women should be able to have a younger man and not be taken to the cleaners. My thing is, when I, take y'all to task a little bit behind the younger women, y'all always like to whine and complain. It's like, well, play your role, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? You daddy Warbucks. You listen. Shake up the bottle of blue pills, dig in your pocket, and say, yes, dear, I'll hold your bags as we go to the mall. That's your job. As an old triple OG dating a younger woman, that is your job. She don't need you for nothing other than that, right? To spend and give her a little bit of Geritol loving. That's all she needs you for.
Well, okay, real quick. How many of you guys heard what happened to Scottie Pippen? He got a divorce, she got a settlement, plus he had to pay alimony. Then she was awarded his half of his pension. That's not even fair. I mean, who are making these laws?
But see, this is the thing, though. Donovan, I'm going to ask you this because I think you know the answer. In California, how long do you have to be married to a woman before she can have your pension or half your pension?
I believe it's 3 years.
10.
10.
So
10. Okay. Because I know the military, she can get 30% at 7 years and then 50% at 10 years. And that incentivizes them not to get married because that money's going to come for the rest of their life. Thank Ron DeSantis for starting the get rid of forever alimony. That's a good thing. And women are losing their minds in Florida, by the way. Isn't this crazy? Women who have nothing wrong with them, they can go out there and work and be strong and independent women, they don't want to go out there and be independent and work on their own.
Yeah, Vic, that's crazy. She sounds like a horrible individual. I don't understand how you see somebody down on their luck and then you kick them, by running a bag up on them. It's like somehow I'm doing time and not in the best situation, and you think about buying new shoes. The hell is wrong with you? And see, feels as social media are the chains and shackles that's enslaving our people today. Yeah, a lot of people. Patty Brown, what's going on with you? TG Hamilton, you say, I agree. No one deserves to have their assets wiped out. Yeah, that's just evil. And Stacy says, before my grandfather passed away, my sister and cousin got his wife's credit cards canceled. Yep, that has to happen, and she needs to be held accountable for that. And a lady, how you doing? She says, usually when a spouse is sick or in jail, the other spouse has to give them money and take care of them on credit. Yeah, but you can't get credit cards in people's name without their permission or knowledge. You just can't do that, because the other side of that is, if you don't want to take care of your spouse that's in jail, because people need money on their books and stuff, just don't do it. But don't end up in jail yourself, behind running up somebody's credit cards. You know what I mean? It has to make sense. JBWR, how you doing? And BHIC, it says, and she dated MJ's son. And my daughter was telling me about another situation. I don't know if he's a football player or a basketball player. Young guy got, I guess, one of the biggest contracts, sports contract, and he's dating. She's some love and hip hop woman. He's 21 or something. So he's young, and she's in like 36, and they're rumored to be dating. And I'm like, where is his mama? Where his mama at? Because if that been my son, I'd be like, hell no, hussy. You better go on somewhere. You not gone. And I would tell my son, I wish you would.
You ain't got to say all that. You ain't got to say all. You got to tell your son is this. Fellas, if you got sons, you need to pass this on. The blueprint has already been written how to handle these situations. You put the majority of your money in your mama's name. As simple as that. Like that soccer player. Oh, girl, she was trying to finesse, and she got finessed, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, but if that was my son, I'd be like, you're not dating him. You're not dating him. I don't care if he is 21. You ain't dating him. Get your decrepit self somewhere and go, chase somebody else somewhere else. But you no. T.G. Hamilton says men make these laws. She's right. And Vic says, she makes more than me. She works for Yale Hospital in Connecticut. I think we also need to concede, just because a person has a good job don't mean that they're not a crook. You know what I mean? There's a lot of crooks with good jobs. And Earl, he says, damn, poor Scotty. He need to appeal that court ruling. If it's the law, it's the law, right? She run around with Michael Jordan's son. And she talking about, I was hurt when Michael Jordan said that he does not want his son dating her. It's like, yeah, my nemesis, you're dating my nemesis son. My son is dating my nemesis' ex-wife, and she's 100 years older than he is. It's like, oh my God, it's all bad. I mean, what you want the man to lie? Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I would have been like, no, I don't want him dating her either. She too old, and she been passed around by everybody, and she dated, my team, and she was married to my teammate. No, I don't want him dating her. She's a strumpet. And Asha says she's not melanated. And who is that? I'm sorry. And JBWR, you say different interpretations of independent, definitely. And Seafield says, I'm no Christian. I'm not religious, because those are the weapons of used by Lucifer. I can see that. And Vicky says the only thing she had to do is ask. I would have said, go ahead. Yeah, but see, that's too much like right. Fat son, how you doing? Long time no see. And Asha, you says Black women usually pay out. Look at Mary, Sherry, and Wendy. Oh yeah, Mary J. Blige, Sherry Shepherd, and Wendy Williams. Yeah, they are having to pay spousal support, child support, whatever the case is. But that usually happens when you are a woman of that financial stature, and you're dating somebody who is not, right. And they just like the men, the women tell the men, well, I need to maintain a certain level of, standard of living. So, Vic says, let me know what's going on so I can be on the same page. Facts. And Stacey says, my grandfather didn't know, we found out. That is just crazy. All right, so let me skip down oh no, I don't need to. Okay. And CPL says, wake up our people and come out of this darkness created by our oppressors to keep us under their feet. Yes, indeed. Angela says, most younger women and almost all non-Black women see Black men 15 plus years older than them as a financial come up. Otherwise, they would be with a young buck. And D. Griffin says, Scotty knew what he had. She is messy. Yeah, she hangs out with the Kardashians and all of them. Virgin Love 8, how you doing? And Vic says, I'm good, live by myself, working, doing me big up to me, every dog has its day. Let the courts handle it. Yeah, well, yeah, hopefully she doesn't get away with that. And Tracy says, no white men make these laws. Yeah, white men make these laws. And now, you know, they're starting to say, oh, well, maybe we need to do some revision. That guy from Texas, how you doing? And Seafields, you say, our nation, race, are the richest upon the four corners of the world, but we're still under the influence and spell of the ones who don't want us to wake up. Totally. And Keisha says, now I'm questioning if Scotty's wife was inappropriate with MJ's son when he was a minor. You know what? That's what I would be wondering. Was you eyeballing my baby?
If that happened to a dude, it would be called grooming. That's exactly what it would be called, grooming. But when it's a woman, nothing said.
And, you know, that's what I was telling my daughter when she was telling me about that. I can't think of the football. I think, Deanna, because I want y'all to know, I was like, had that been the other way around, had that been a man, oh my God, he would have been dragged all over the place. You know, she's too young and now he's an old blah, blah, blah. Because
cancel him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it's just, I want to say she's like 36, maybe he's 21. And, you know, now she's piling around with him. I'm like, where's his mama, his daddy?
Yeah. Do you guys remember that pastor that married that member of his church that was 18? And people question it, rightly so. Remember that thing? But do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the double standard?
Well, the thing, too, with that pastor is, it sounds like he got her knocked up when she before she was 18. Can you find the name of that thing you was telling me about earlier? The young guy with the big contract that's dating somebody. So the pastor sounds like he groomed her for real, right? She was like 14 or something like that. And then when she turned 18, he married her. I think he ended up getting in trouble for that too, if I'm not mistaken. And they had like 2 children. She was 18, so the math wasn't math. And like, nah, she wasn't 18 and she got 2 children by you already. He's like, I think 47, 80. He's an older cat. And Stacy said the car trashy, and most definitely is Stacy. You see Kim Kardashian, she's rallying against C-Murder, released early from prison. Here it is. Drea Michelle and Jalen Green. So Jalen Green is the athlete. And then Drea Michelle, whoever she is, she's
wasn't she on basketball LA Wives or something like that?
Okay, yeah, I think she was. Okay. So it says he's playing for the Houston Rockets. So she's 38, and he is, let's see, she's an actress model. I think, like you said, she was on one of those shows. He's 21. She's 38. And he's 21. And it said that they're rumored to be dating.
She's turning him out. He's learning all kinds of stuff. And what's really crazy is these finesse chicks and guys, they pass these people around in their circles. To me, that's what it seems like. It's like, okay, I'm done with her. You can have her. I had a couple kids out of her. You can have her. It's sad.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy if they are indeed dating. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I just want to know where his mom and daddy is, because I'd have raised the roof. I would have. I'd made her not want to come around no more. Talking about, nah, his mama crazy. We ain't gonna make it, because I'm not gonna be able to go to no family dinners. I'm not gonna be able to do none of that. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you a sack chaser, and you're not gonna be with my child. I'm sorry.
Well, let me ask you this, Demetria, as a mother and stuff like that. When a younger man marries an older woman, how successful would that union be in most situations?
I'm sorry, you said if an older man marries a younger woman?
An older woman marries a younger man, how successful would that actually be? I mean, statistically, it's very low that those relationships last.
I don't know. I do know there are some situations where that works out, where older woman.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, they've been together for over 30-something years.
And Tina Turner, up until she died, she was significantly older than her husband. And So there's a whole host of examples out there. I would say this though, from a woman's point of view, if you're an older woman and you're dating a younger man, you know you a cougar. Play your position. You know what I mean? Hey, honey, I made you a pot roast today. Oh, yes, Yeah, you can take the car. Oh, yeah, baby, you need some new shoes, baby. All right, I got you. Just make sure you come on over here. Would you been gay later on tonight? Mama gonna need you to, and loosen her up.
And fellas, let's be real. As some women get older, that you need that glass in the jar with water so she can put her dentures in there.
Hey, there's a lot of toothless Negroes running around here too. Don't get the game messed up, okay? There's a lot of toothless Negroes.
No. See, Demetria, because she's not a man, she doesn't understand. That's not a bad thing. Okay, when she has dentures, that's not a bad thing.
Well, I would imagine that she's at the point where she has dentures. She probably ain't gonna, maybe my daddy might be watching. Shut up. Norris, how you doing? He says, I don't need a young woman. I have a woman knows the signs. So basically saying you need a woman that knows the signs of a stroke, right? You don't want her to think, oh, baby, look at that new dance he's doing, and the younger woman thinking you doing the latest dance from TikTok. You're right. You need an older woman, be like, baby, you all right? You look kind of, you're sweating. What's going on? So you're right. But again, I can't tell you brothers what to do. Y'all like the young women and y'all like to complain when the young woman is doing what young women do. For the life of me, it just baffles me. She ain't gonna know more than 3 sentences well. She don't want to talk to you. She want to talk to her hot girls and all that other stuff. All she needs you to do is just take her shopping. That's it. No, it wasn't John Moran. It was what did I say what his name was? Jalen Green. Yes, Jason. She's a little bit seasoned. 38 is not old, but she's too old for him. It's embarrassing. You know what I mean? And Yanni says she ruined him for women his age. Yeah, you can see it that way as well.
Well, and you also got to think about this. Now, let's flip it a little bit. Here's an older woman that has attracted and got a younger guy. I mean, there are a lot of young girls out there, but let's face it, a lot of women don't want to compete like that. I mean, I've seen some older women, a good example. Demetria, you're a very attractive woman, whatever the deal is. You've put some girls that are 20 years younger than you to shame. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. If he's attracted and these older women are getting these younger guys, more power to him.
I don't know about that. Was he? I have no idea. I don't. As far as I even heard of the guy, I don't know. Anita says that sounds like a sugar mama and not a cougar, but it sounds like he might have a lot more money than her. I don't know, because didn't he get a giant contract or something like that? I don't know. And then Black America.
I think he got his rookie contract, which I think with the new CBA, you're talking about almost like a minimum of like almost $200 million. Plus he got a contract with Nike or Adidas or one of those other ones. So.
Right. The ladies want you to know that men wear dentures too, and y'all be bald and, pot bellies and can't see your feet and, grunting.
And y'all love it. Y'all love it.
Grunting when you stand up. It's like, yikes. Yeah, you got to know your role. I'm just saying, if I was a cougar, I mean, I guess technically I am, if I was to date a younger guy. Somebody put an egg up here. I got you, boo. I got you. Hold up. You talking about some egg? You won't be egging up on here. But anyway, Black America. If I was a cougar, I was dating a younger guy, I wouldn't. I don't know. I just think I would. I think as a cougar, you probably should not be dependent upon a younger guy. I think you should have your stuff together, and you like the old lady driving the Cadillac with all diamonds on each finger, and all you can see is your knuckles when you're driving, because you got your stuff together, and why you dating little Junior Flip. It ain't because you trying to, make him your equal, your husband. It's like, shit, these old dudes my age, they can't scratch the itch I got. They got to use pumps and pills and stuff. So I need a little, young tender to, come in and, hey, how you doing? And not that little 2 minutes.
Blow that back out. Blow that back out.
Not the 2 minutes the older dudes be giving, but they got a good 10, 15, and Glodadine is like, whoo, Lord. She not on her cell phone. She on her the phone with the receiver, the old-fashioned phone. She gossiping to her homegirls about what he did. She need to go to the chiropractor now and all that other stuff. But she gonna see him next week. That's what we talking about. But anyway, let me stop. Ashley says one pastor was the stepfather, and Nita says, "Oh, and I stand corrected." Okay, and yeah, men, it is so sad. We need to have a conversation about this one day. How is it that men our age are suffering from ED? For those of y'all that don't know what that is, it's erectile dysfunction. And it's like,
the stress that y'all put us through. We look at you when we got you, you were nice and fine, and you start letting yourself go.
So you blaming that on us? I don't think so, homie. I do not think so at all. Y'all stuff be looking like.
It's the diet. It's the diet. It totally is. It's the diet, the lifestyle. And I said, I'm not against people who partake in the tweed, but they say that could be a part of it as well, because it is what it is.
Gilbert, I don't know if you there yet, but I ain't lying. Listen, I'm 52 years old. Now maybe there's some 52-year-old men out there, they still, but a lot of them, as I just showed y'all, they, oh my, like what are you gonna do with that?
And a lot of people who are overweight and have diabetes, a lot of them do suffer from ED. Diet is a big part of that. So stop killing us. Stop killing us. Stop giving us the hog maws and the fast food. Get your butt in the kitchen and cook so I can cook in the bedroom.
But y'all want to be with the younger women that don't even know how to boil water. Y'all want to be with that, huh? Y'all want to be with a woman that's like, oh yeah, I got your gravy, baby. You ain't getting gravy every day, but you might get it on Sunday. I got you, your healthy chicken and some vegetables, and y'all don't want that. Y'all want a hope and a prayer that she gonna make you something that don't involve smashing 2 pieces of bread together. Yeah, cordless phone, but I'm talking about the ones that got the one that you got to string the cord from one room to the other. There you go. The landline. Exactly. And Gilbert says they don't eat right, period. Yeah. It has a lot to do with it. It is diet. I was having this conversation with somebody once talking about it ain't diet. I'm like, it is diet. It's an artery down there. It's an important artery. And if you got high cholesterol and all that other stuff, it's going to get clogged up too. And it's going to be like, I think I can. Choo, choo. Nah, baby, I can't.
Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. Let's be honest. Okay, I'll give you that. You can say all that stuff about men, and some of it's probably true, and for some situations. But let's also take into a fact that it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway with some of y'all. Okay. So.
Let's see. I knew Donovan was gonna cut up. Hold on, I'm gonna address that in a minute. Monica says, I understand why some older men want younger, as they usually come with less road miles and are moldable. There are younger men who just are mentally older, hence they feel mentally in line with older. Yeah, okay, I can say that. But as far as throwing a hot dog down the hallway,
wait. When I was younger, most of my girlfriends were always older than me, so I agree with that statement.
Y'all always like to talk about throwing hot dogs down the hallway. Y'all know, that is impossible. Like, it doesn't get stretched out. No matter what you do to it, it's not stretched out to, it's just, let's just keep it a buck. Y'all, it was a man that came up with that phrase, throwing a hot dog down the hallway. A man that was told that what had happened was he thought he was finna put in work, and she was like, are you in there? yeah, I'm done. And then he came up with that phrase. So come on.
Demetra, it is true. Okay, look. When women are, when you guys are with your man, and it's called sizing. You kind of get used to that size, and you get a bigger man. It kind of, the women body stretches and occupies it.
I'm a virgin. I have no idea
Okay,
what you're talking about.
gotcha. So we know that now. Unfortunately, some women fall in love with guys that might not be super well endowed, and it has been proven because of the DNA now in the recent 90s up until now that what did they say? 25% of all pregnancies aren't the father since the 90s, since DNA has been like enacted in the court system. 25%. So somebody's stepping out and getting some long dong. You know what I mean?
Shut up. JBWR. It says, I don't care if she can't burn toast. You don't care if she can't cook as long as she's younger. Well, so
men value youth because younger women can produce children.
Yeah, and then some of y'all don't want children, and then when she get pregnant, it's like, she knew I didn't want no kids, but when you was giving her that little 2 minutes of fun, you wasn't thinking about that. It's like, yeah, you always brag about, men could create until we die, and then you go get with you a 35-year-old, and then she turn up or pregnant, talking about guess who the daddy is, and you in that 75% sucker. Then you get to crying and complaining. She knew I didn't want no baby, but you was treating it like a trampoline, and now what? Hey, Sean, how you doing? Woo! Oh, yeah. He said Wayne Brady has come out as pansexual. He says he loves everybody, so I don't know. Listen, I'm very green when it comes to that stuff, so I don't know if he just loves everybody or he loves everybody. I don't know, but I saw that. Black America says, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good as I ever was. You know what? I'm gonna say you're probably right, because you got a lot of children, and there's quite a few women out there that would probably say, "Yep, he knows what he's doing." So I'll take your word.
Look, I'm looking at the chat, and a lot of women are saying, they're disagreeing with the hot down on the highway. Why is it that every woman thinks that their stuff is the tightest that's ever been and it's platinum gold? Please explain that to me.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have too many conversations with women about how loose or tight they stuff is. Because that's their business, right? I don't have that conversation with anybody either. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what they tell you to, maybe do something for you. I don't know. That's just probably a game that's something they tell you, but I don't know. I have no knowledge of that at all. Asha says maybe you're just small. And Angela says pansexual is when they're attracted to or romantically involved with the person regardless of sex or gender. Okay, kind of thought that's what it meant, but wasn't sure. Patty says hot dog down the hallway, or it's just an itty bitty dingy committee. I tend to think that's what it is, yeah.
You ask some dudes, I'm telling y'all, some of y'all are like, what's that song by Bootsy Collins and Bernie Worrell? You got me wide open. You got me wide open.
Nah, that's what you tell yourself. Yeah, 2 minutes. Y'all know I ain't lying. Yeah, it's a good 2 minutes. And Common Man, how you doing? It says the older a woman gets, the less pheromones she produces. Yep. Pheromones as far as to attract y'all. Okay, I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of that, but I tend to would understand when women, when they get older, they they get a little bit more on the frisky side. Stacy says I had a patient that had a young wife and he had a heart attack when she was putting in work. See, how did he die? On top of me? Hell no.
That is the best way to go. You're coming and going at the same time. Beautiful.
You stupid. Woo! Let's see here. Yeah, Stacy, some men have small packages, and that's okay for another woman.
Okay, wait. And I know we're not, kind of doing this, but why is it that a majority of Black women do not date Asian men?
I don't know. I have no knowledge of that either. I don't know. I don't know. Because, it could be, I don't know. It could be a myth. I like to say the same thing about brothers. All brothers is just like, wham. See, you're speaking from experience or?
Wait. I'm skinny. So there you go.
What does that mean exactly?
You know what it means.
I have no idea. I have no personal knowledge at all. All I can tell, only thing I do know, as once upon a time or two, I saw a Speedo on the beach. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
And wait a minute. Didn't the lifeguards try to ban me and restrict me from coming on the beach because I created too much of a public distraction?
They said, listen, we can't have all these people squinting their eyes. It's bad for their eyes. And we cannot have that. So you need to go somewhere.
Wait, how many of you guys remember the famous video by the Gap Band, Party Train?
Yes.
That's how my Speedos was.
I personally knew somebody who worked in the prop department, and they said those were props. So, I take your word for it. Corliss, how you doing? Says the same reason men think they need a they need a Magnum and they need a thimble cover. Wow. They're not out there wasting plastic, are they?
Y'all are so cruel, but guess what? You still need us. Regardless, you still need us.
Hey, James, this is probably not the conversation that you want to be in, but we're going to repent after this. But you know what, though? God had a sense of humor. He made men. I'm just kidding. I'm joking because somebody going to get mad. I was just playing. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a little jokey joke here and there, okay? Well, how you doing? You said he died in a hospital, Stacy? Damn. I don't know if we're going to come to Jesus anytime soon in this chat, James. We would think about it. Easy say word, Donovan. Don't encourage him. Angela says, I canceled a few guys because they were too well endowed and I didn't want to ruin my body. Damn. Stacy says, I love Black men. I love Black men too. Oh Lord, I'm gonna put the link. I'll put it up here. All right, it's up, Corliss. I have to do it twice. Let's see here. Yes, Black men are very sexy. I wouldn't have it any other way. I tell you that right now. Moni says, personally, I like a big boy, something that can stand up and not comment or 3 minutes. He lets you know he working with something and he's got to be beautiful, preferably. Well, you ain't. Hey, Corliss. How you doing? Well, I want to say, I know you. I know you, so tread very lightly.
I'm gonna swim across like old boy in that river. Donovan, let's. Did you say you skinny?
Well, I was skinny. I was skinny growing up. So.
Oh, you were skinny growing up? Well, let's say a few years back. I'll say 3. I'm trying to tread lightly, D. 6'2", slender, and all he had was a button. I'm just gonna say, nice looking gentleman. But he wasn't
basically just legs and shoulders.
uh, legs in length to hold up the top side of his body because he ain't had no leg. He ain't have a third leg.
Well, some of us, not everybody's going to be blessed, not everybody.
No, I'm not saying everybody is going to be blessed, but people swear up and down that like the majority of black men are Mendingo, and some of them can't even El Swingo.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you this. Now, when I was a young man in the game, playing women and doing all that stuff, being very disrespectful,
Moni says she needs at least 6 or 7 hours. My Lord.
I would keep expectations low. So when a girl would come to me and she'd be like, oh, hey, I said, no, you don't want this. I'll turn you gay or I'll do this, right? Using psychology, that would challenge them like, oh, wait a minute. Wait, let me see what he's got. What is he working with? Why does he keep saying that? Why does he keep putting like? Get into the room and it's a done deal.
Well, my sister is my god sister. She's a manager at a Terribles, right, in Vegas. And she just told me the other morning. She said a guy came in, I guess, the night before and bought a box of Magnums. Now I say somebody that used to be in my household went off tricking somewhere and bought a box of Magnums too, but he knew damn well that box of Magnums was only gonna cover the can that held the Vienna sausages. It wasn't gonna cover his sausage. But the dude bought the Magnums back talking about, oh, they didn't fit. Negro, you knew when you walked up in there that you needed that thumb cover. Stop playing with folks. And then, Donovan, you said women think theirs is the tightest. Let me tell you something. A well-endowed man ain't gonna do no more than that baby that you push up out your behind. Because once you push them out, if you know how to take care of yourself, kegels and all of that stuff, you automatically shrink back down. Now, if you just got somebody in there just falling in every day and you got babies falling out every, you know what I'm saying? It's no way that a woman should be nowhere out of whack down there, like falling into the ocean.
Right. Now see, I agree with you. We know that and you know that, but how many of us are out there actually doing the work to get it back into shape and doing a lot of us don't do it. We just don't do it.
You're very right, but I'm just saying, like if somebody could put their fist up in you up to your forearm, then baby, you need you might want to go get that what is it called? The rejuvenation where they go in and sew you back up and make you tight and right.
I'll give you an example. I'm here in Hawaii right now. You're in a place where people like California, people look a certain way and everybody's really fit. They're active and doing stuff, right? So I've been going to the gym, doing what I do. There are almost no sisters in that gym, but you see the mothers in there walking the kids and doing all that other stuff. I'm just saying, I'm not really complaining about it, but a lot of guys that will say our women are not necessarily, once they have a baby, and we understand, the reasons. It's just the fact of. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's happening. We're not working out. We're not getting back into shape.
D, put that comment back up there.
Oh wait, hold on. This one.
Dissing guys is low hanging fruit. Ed Donovan needs to speak on sandpaper punani. He ain't got to speak on it. I'm going to speak on it. Because if any woman punani feel like sandpaper here, you need to check yourself out. Why would you even be screwing with them? You can use your fingers before you use anything else. And ain't nobody dissing. If you come out here and you telling a woman that, yeah, this is what you got, I can respect you more if you say you got 2 inches. Because that's just going to let me say, maybe he got a mouth game or something. But 2 inches ain't doing nothing for most of us women. And Donovan, you say some of us still need you. Some of us prefer the rose and the toy. It's just a few toys that you can utilize because we ain't got to deal with all the extra that come with y'all in that whole package.
But there's nothing like the real thing. You can plasterize it, put hot water in it and all that other stuff. It's not the real thing.
I'm so scared. Black America, how are you doing this fine Tuesday evening?
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing
Fabulous.
today? Good, good. I had to come up when I heard her make the statement of about what a woman's nether regions is like. When I think me and Donovan are the only one that has men parts that has interacted with these certain areas in a woman, and I haven't been with all the women in the world, but I've been with a few, and let me tell you, it's some loosey gooseys out there. It's a couple of loosey gooseys where you be like, okay, so and women, I'm not trying to, I know it's some minute men and stuff like that, but you got to look at it like this. If it's a couple of minutes, that mean that thing might be good. That mean you might have some good thing if it's 2 minutes. You see what I mean? It ain't always on the guy. Sometimes you got a 2 minute thing, and that thing is good. If a dude can jump up and down on you for like 6 and 7 hours, like that girl said, then he need to go to the doctor, and you might need to check up too, because it's some problems down on the underneath.
Yeah, 6 or 7 hours. That sounds like torture. That sounds like some. I don't know about all of that.
That's a whole lot of Patron and Keela, and a whole lot of Patron and Hennessy and all type of other things to keep you going that long. That's not right. And you was talking about the show earlier was talking about the gentleman being put out by his wife, and which all of us men know that if some women don't want you there or want your things, they can try to get the people in charge, let's say, to come and remove you from your own stuff, try and separate you from your own stuff so they can do with what they want to do with it. And you dang near have to stand guard over 24 hours, because if they get you away from the house, they can be done sold your boat, your car, all of these things. Because just like the man was saying, Mr. Vic was saying about the credit cards, they're your counterpart. And so if you have on your titles of your vehicle, let's say we got Demetra and Donovan, or it could have Demetra or Donovan. You see what I mean? Things like that is very particular about your possessions. Anything like a TV or anything like that, that's gone. All of your stuff is gone. But anything with an actual title, they can get you out of the house and get that stuff sold in a day. Your vets will be gone. I'm a car guy, so any kind of cars that you have, if it says this name and that name, you might have a chance. But if it says this person or that person, which a lot of people do, if I was to get in trouble or die, I would want my significant other to be able to, sell off my things. So I'll say, me or her. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that, because they will get rid of your stuff, or, do whatever they want to with it.
Can I play devil's advocate with Black America and Donovan? He should have chose better. Things that when that happens to men, as far as a woman, come in and remove, steal their house and all their belongings and stuff, he should have just made a better choice.
Right. But, how do you know that if you've been married to this person, and like women always say, oh, they presented their representative. It wasn't really them.
Black America.
What I say to that is, I don't care. We're just starting to hear about this with men. So I don't give a damn about a man. I like Donovan. If he walking across the street and get hit by a car, oh, well, that's just another brother gone. Nobody cares about men. This has been happening to men for years and years and years, since time immemorial. This has always happened. And as guys, you can ask Donovan, we expect it. We expect to work our whole life, die, and leave you everything. We don't care about the things. We care about the treatment that we receive while we're here. I don't give a shit about any of my possessions. I care about your future well-being. I really don't. If you want to leave and take the house, leave and take the house. Just leave me a matter of fact, most men don't even fight for the house. Most men give up all of those things. We don't care about the things. We care about the treatment that we get from you, our women. We just want the door to be revolving. If I take out the garbage, you cook. We don't care about things of that nature. So
but I would say this. I'm gonna push back on no one cares about men, because we just saw a great example of that this past Saturday in Alabama, where a whole bunch of people came to the rescue of one man who was getting it handed to him, by the white supremacists. So that's not true. Y'all are cared about.
we grew up in LA. We seen a lot of violence of men on men. That is the country, granted, and black people love violence. Have you ever seen somebody start a fight and then it end up to a jumping thing? It's because it's a pack mentality and people love violence. That's why we had a big fight here in Vegas last week. The UFC is a huge draw. People love violence. Women, when I was young, we went to see Boys in the Hood. This is a perfect example. And so, you got everybody out there and the brothers started fighting. And my kid mother, she want to run down to see the fight. No, you're going to get tore up or you get shot. People, and I'm going to say black people, we love violence. I enjoyed watching the little fight. I just don't want any black people to get in trouble, because I know anytime we swing a chair, we'll get 10 years where a white person will get probation. That's the only reason I didn't like it.
Yeah,
and let me just say on top of what he just said, whenever we come to the issue of men and women, I have yet to meet a man that says he won't pay all the bills and he won't do this and he won't do that. The men that don't say that are the ones that were either raised by a single mother or whatever their situation is, or they're not real men at all. What we're saying as men is, okay, if I'm going to be a traditional man, because that's always thrown in our face, well, a man is supposed to provide. No, that's great. You're absolutely right. Nobody's disputing that. But shouldn't I be also in my right to expect you to be some form of a traditional woman by cooking and cleaning and taking care of my children? That's all we're saying. We just want some fair equity.
And let me say this before I give it to Keisha. There's a lot of women out there who do that. There's a lot of women who are traditional, cook and clean and do all of that. Again, unfortunately, a lot of those women get dogged out, So Keisha, how you doing?
Hey, Demetra. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing today?
We're doing well. I just want to also say we're going to be on here for about another 10 minutes at the most. So, but go ahead.
I just want to say, relationships are hard and both sides make bad decisions. And I don't think we think in this day and age, I don't think we think of it in the way that our forefathers thought of it or our moms thought of it. Marriage is a contract. It's not only a contract, in terms of physical things, it's a spiritual contract. And if you're not going to step up, you can't expect that from anybody else. And the problem is you can't just step up 20% of the time, 30% of the time, or even 50% of the time, and that's going to be all right, because the other person is going to get tired. And then they're going to start not stepping up. If you're not putting your 100% into it, and it's not always going to be 100%, I know, but putting your best foot forward. If you're not going to do that and you're going to slack off on both sides, then you can't be mad when it goes down and just point fingers. I think you can't expect everything from somebody else and humanity from yourself. If you're going to be human and not give it all sometimes, you have to be able to deal with that. And if you didn't talk about these things before, then you can't be mad when it goes south. I'm so sorry for that brother who lost his house. I hate to see it, but he made a choice on a particular person. Whether they put their best foot forward at first, how long did you take to get to know this person? Were you even really friends? And why are you marrying somebody that's never been your friend? That's just all.
But Keisha, can't we go and reverse that when it comes to women? You
But that's what I said.
complaining
That's what I
about
was
this,
saying.
complaining about that.
No, she said both.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying.
Can I say something to that?
Sure.
Okay, so for instance, me and my ex-wife knew each other for 30 years. 30 years. I know everything about, I know her better than anybody in her family knows her. She was a jerk then. She's a jerk now. She's going to always be a jerk. But my dad told me a long time ago, he said, all women are crazy. You accept the crazy that you can deal with. Because you guys women have different ways of doing things, different personalities, different times. You accept the crazy. If you know she got 3 or 4 different personalities, that's why men sit outside for 20 minutes, say, uh-oh, we got Keisha in there today. Uh-oh, it's going to be Corliss tomorrow. Uh-oh, and come nighttime, we hoping it's Demetra. You know what I mean? We hoping she roll over and toot it up for us. That's all. So as a man, you accept. Wow, you accept the crazy. You accept the crazy that you can deal with. A man just want some peace. That's it. You want a piece of food and a piece of ass, and be able to go to work peacefully. What ass? Ass is not a bad word. It was in the Bible.
I know, because I like that double entendre you had there. Men just want peace. We want a piece of ass, and we want a piece of food or whatever. I thought you was gonna talk about some, peace like that. I want to say. Sure, go ahead.
But I will say this: all of us want peace. Women want peace too, but on both sides, we don't choose peaceful people. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we want peace, but we don't choose peaceful people. We want somebody that's, has a little edge to them, and that edge, as you go on, turns worse. So you have to come into it knowing, is this what you want for the rest of your life? And if it's not, then you need to make a different decision on both sides. Women do the same thing.
Women want a piece of the pie. You want to be able to ride around in that Jag or that Benz peacefully. You want to be able to live in that nice piece of property. Your piece is different than our piece. And that's where it's maybe not you women. I can't say you guys, but as far as most women go, like I say, when they see a man and he's flashy and he gets out and he has nice shoes and he has a nice ride, women want a piece of that. They don't care for the most. Once again, not you guys, because all you guys, care about character, things of that nature. Most women don't care about character. They care about getting a piece of a Birkin or a piece of that charm, that Pandora charms that go around they wrist and things are like that. So it's not the same.
And let me say this really quick. Common Man says, I don't want to be settled for. I want to be needed and wanted. Due to government intervention, the American Black woman always has a handout. Black men don't have that. Not all of American Black women have a handout. So I think we should, not try to deal in absolutes. And I want to say this. I went and saw Brother Nuri Muhammad this past Saturday, and he was with his beautiful wife, Terry. They've been together since they were 14. And I don't know if they're quite 50 yet, but I think they're in their 40s. And of course, they're under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so there's a lot of questions going forward. And somebody asked, what do you think about this 50-50 rule? We're doing half type of thing. And he says it should be 100-100. The woman needs to do 100% her part, and the man needs to do 100% his fault. Now, wait a minute before y'all clap. He says, but... and I'm going to give it to BJ. But the man got to bring his 100 first. And then she bring her 100 because y'all set the foundation. So if you don't have 100, you shouldn't even be bringing a woman in to be talking about what percentage do you have. So you got to bring your 100 first. BJ, how you doing? Long time no see.
How you guys doing? Great to be here. Interesting conversation. I did want to make a comment on you're saying that Black people love violence. Yet this country we live in is founded upon violence. And ever since they've been here, violence has been perpetuated all throughout within it. So we fall into these different categories. And when we start latching onto it, it's our culture. And this is what we enjoy. 100%, nobody can give 100% all the time. But if you're a partner and you have a team, you're going to work together. Too many times on both sides, we're picking the wrong people because, okay, you're right, because he got money and she got a big butt. Oh, my boys say you are a dime, but the one who got your back, she don't fit into that size less than 2 dress. You know, you could do better. So you get what you have, and too many times people don't see the person for who they are, and then all of a sudden, why is she acting this way? Oh, wait. When she out in the club or in the street, oh yeah, my baby bad. She won't take no kind of stuff. But then it's wrong when she started doing that stuff at me. And then you're like, well, why is she being ratchet? Why is she, she only care about the, but you're sending her out, getting her Gucci, getting her Fendi, and getting her all this stuff. That's the standards that she have. Now you crying about it when she ready to say, I can't deal with your stuff no more.
Right. I'm not gonna. I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I kind of don't. I kind of don't agree.
Which is fine. Because I want to just mention one more thing. Someone put in there about how women are the ones getting government assistance. Well, where I'm at, there's more men sitting in them chairs than the women, and I still don't see anybody talking about all the men who are collecting those handouts.
Well, unfortunately, men can only get food stamps.
Let me cut you off. Common Man, he didn't say handouts. He said an out. So I did read that wrong. So forgive me. So he said an out.
Okay.
But when it comes to the social safety net, the majority of men do not qualify because we don't have the kids with us. Whatever. The most you're going to get.
No. I'm saying here, they are single men who are qualifying. That's that whole
for food stamps
precept is changing, and I just don't like when people fall into stereotypes as they being the gospel of truth. Because, like, again, the majority of people who are collecting government assistance are not Black women, but the words are coming out as if it's Black women who are lazy and dependent on government and don't want any men because the government is taking care of them. Well, that little $3,000 a year that the government handing out ain't taking care of nobody when rents are $1,500 a month. So these stereotypes, we need to all let all this stuff go sit down and figure out who you're dealing with, and can I handle the person who's standing in front of me at their good point and at their bad point. And it's like, if it's too much, I gotta walk away. Versus,
well, I'm gonna have to shut that down right now. I'm gonna have to shut that down right now because too many women use accounting tricks to talk about who's getting what and who's not getting what. Yes, white people get more welfare and stuff because they have a bigger number of people than us.
Let me finish. Because you always saying that the Black women is the ones who's getting all this stuff, and we're not.
Let me finish. Within our community, women in general, and within the Black community, the 13% or the 24% that I believe we actually are, 70% of our community is on assistance, some form of assistance. That's a fact. That's not a fact. We can't run from that. Me and you got into this before. I'm telling you.
You're wrong.
Right. And I'm telling you, no, I'm not wrong. The statistics that I got, I'm going to stand on that because I see it every day. Wait. I see it every day. 50% of all Black people are homeless, and we're supposed to be 13%. The math is not adding up.
Okay.
Reality is what you see outside your door.
All right.
Come on.
So what zip code are you talking about?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Ooh, no, they got heated. BJ, what do you do for a living?
I am a systems analyst.
Do you agree that 70% of Black people are on some sort of governmental assistance?
The government ain't gonna give 70% of us anything.
It's just false. It's not right.
And again, you know what? Maybe I'll say yeah, because you get the tax breaks, you get all these different things. The corporations are getting subsidies. So if I'm working for that corporation, yeah, I guess I am getting a subsidy from the government. If you look at the farmers, look at a large number of them are getting subsidies. So government assistance, that's what government is there, is to assist the people. If you're in the military, you're getting government assistance because my tax dollars is going to pay your salary and when you're overseas and all your expenses. So let's break it down to what it truly is, or what you're truly trying to point a finger at. If it is 70% of the women getting it, why is it that those 70% of the women who have children, that the father isn't providing that support?
Right.
That's
now,
the
I
real
didn't say
question.
70% of women. I said 70% of the Black community are near the poverty line. At the
I'll even go with a lot of the women are now walking away from their families. So again,
all right,
70% of the Black community is at the poverty line, below the poverty line, or just above it. 30% of us that are doing well, we're fine. But that's the numbers. You can dispute it all you want. Reality is what you see outside your door.
But that still didn't answer my question about why are you just pointing at the government assistance when they're providing help for people who are below the poverty line? There's assistance in development. Underserved community. We're going to give these supermarkets a kickback because you're going to underserved community. Are we going to that man's home in a high-end neighborhood and say, why are you getting government assistance when you have these corporations? We're not throwing a flag at them.
What I'm saying is too many times we keep throwing these numbers out like everything is fine in our community when we damn sure know it's not. Damn sure know it's not.
All right, but hold on. Okay, Donovan and BJ, give me a second because we got other people up here. I know y'all could go back and forth.
I apologize.
No worries. Corliss.
I'm gonna say this because I know people that were in the military, and it's sad to say that people that are in the military qualify for food stamps. So how crazy is that? I mean, it run all across the board.
80% of everybody in the military qualifies for food stamps. That's a fact.
Absolutely. Now, how crazy is that? Why would people in the military qualify for government assistance?
Because when the military has always been behind their civilian counterparts. I make a third of what a pilot would make in a commercial airline. I make a third, and I do more work. That's just how it was set up.
Keisha.
The whole system was set up in a certain way. And while I know that our community is struggling in a lot of ways, a lot of us are not struggling. And I'm wary about statistics because who are they running these statistics on? Nobody never asked me any questions. You know what I mean? And I've lived in DC and Maryland and Boston, and nobody has ever asked me a question. So I'm trying to figure out who are they polling, who are they running the statistics on, and are they counting all of us for real? Because I'm just leery about statistics. I'm not saying they're wrong or right. I'm just saying they're questionable to me. But we do need help in our community, and I will never say we don't. Just taking the conversation back to, us as a community, and it's not him or her, it's a family. And as a family, who are you making a family with? And if you're choosing wrong, then you need to deal with that, because if your choice is wrong from the beginning, all the rest of it is irrelevant because it's not going to go right. And I'm just saying we have to start looking at the nitty gritty and making better choices, and not with our eyes or with our greed, but with not just our hearts, but with our minds. Like, can we really go the distance with this person? Do I like being around this person? Are they kind? Do they consider myself or others and themselves? What type of relationship do they have with money? Not just can they make the money, how do they save money? Where do they spend the money? Are they charitable? How do they really feel about children? Are they going to be kind to our children? Do they want children? Or are they going to be kind to everybody else's children outside and mean to our children inside? Like, you really have to sit down and have the hard conversations, and not only the conversation, but you have to be looking at who you're really dealing with and stop lying to ourselves because we like being in the situation for that moment because of the perception, but is it really serving? So that's my thoughts.
And also when I went to it was how to find a good husband and how to find a good wife with Brother Nuri Muhammad and his wife. He says, and this is from the Nation of Islam, that try to get with somebody who has at least, of course, has at least 70% of what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. But he says oftentimes people get with somebody who has 30%. I didn't kick you off, Black America. I don't know what happened. People get with, if you get with somebody that has only 30%, then yeah, it's probably not going to work out. But try to get with somebody who has at least 70% of the things that you're looking for. Compatibility, right? A lot of times people, like you said, Keisha, oh, she got a big old butt. Oh, he got a little bit of money. But then it's like, once you peel back those things, like, I don't even really like that person. They not a good person. I was blinded by the exterior. I didn't go deep enough, or as they do in the Nation, they court. In fact, Brother Nuri says when they are courting, it's not a conversation of oh, you're so cute. It's all right. Let's get down to brass tacks. What is it that you got going on? What do I got going on? Like, you really doing a deep dive analysis. And then at that point, you decide, are we compatible? Do we want to continue courting each other? And at that point, it's a yes or a no. And I'd imagine if it's a yes, then you get to the, not too warm and fuzzy, because they look at, they don't want you to do that. But, to the point to where, okay, now we can, be a little giddy, but it's almost like a business meeting.
It is a business.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
But we don't treat relationships like a business. We treat it like, yeah, you look good. Oh, yeah, I look good too. Let's hold hands and go to the movies and go out to eat and jump in the sack. And then when we get too deep, it's like, oh, well, I don't really want to be with you like that.
And people change over time. And the thing is, when you start seeing those changes, can you live with this person who's maturing and evolving? Because sometimes people want you to just stay right where you at and not, well, she got a little education behind her, she acting different. Well, she's thinking different. And then when you bring kids into it, it's a whole nother different dynamic. So that person that you went down the aisle with is a totally different person. And then you throw the stress of everyday life and existence and like the things that you're seeing down of it that everybody's trying to deal with. That brings a whole nother level. And you have to find ways of not letting the outside world invade your home, and find ways to find peace within it and forgiveness in the shortcomings, because we all have them. And stop looking at, well, you don't still fit in that size 2 dress like you used to. You letting yourself go. I just had 3 of your kids. They beat my body to death. What do you want from me?
Because I took a lot of notes when I went. It very insightful. And he says, and this is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said: women, you have a duty to do your best as well, as far as be presentable. And he says, for every pound you gain, or that you're overweight, your percent, I guess, so the percentage equals how less attractive you become. So basically, if you got with this man and you was had a Coke bottle shape, life happens, you have children and stuff, but damn, some people, and I was one of them, your child is 16, you talking about I got baby fat. It's like, come on now. How long you gonna have baby fat? So in the same vein, we got a duty to each other to keep, as I said, the same thing that got your baby hooked, or you got your baby to look, or whatever, you got them hooked, it's the same thing it's gonna take, or whatever, right? So we got a duty to each other to remain
to be the best we can be.
Right, to remain the apple of each other's eye. Because I know, especially a lot of women are guilty for saying, well, you got to take me for better or worse. You getting what's coming out this moo-moo. You don't get what's coming out this body. And it's like, and the man is like, I don't want that though. I get it. Life happens. And listen, I'm one of those people. I sometimes work out twice a day because I know I can't eat whatever I want. I have hypothyroidism, so I can gain 5 pounds in a week if I'm not careful. It's harder for me to lose weight. It's not impossible, but I know that there's certain things I can't do. Like I cannot eat meat anymore. When I moved to Texas, I ate meat and I gained like 30 pounds, and I was eating a lot of meat and, that's dairy and stuff. I just know I cannot have. I like it. I cannot have it if I want to, be a certain size. I got to work out. I can't. Some people can do, a 2 jumping.
Genetics.
Like, I can't. I got to work out like an hour, like be sweating bullets to achieve that. And so I'm saying all that to say, I'm not saying that relationships are all physical, but by now we know men are physical creatures. They like what they see, and we are too, but men are a little bit more, staunch when it comes to that. So if you with somebody, your man, he says, baby, you get a little round around the middle, you might want to say, you old sucker. But then you're like, oh, damn, baby, I ain't know. Okay, well, let me go and work on that, because my dad told me this as a child, and I'll never forget this. He says, women, because, my dad is a traditional man. His woman was at home. When we leave the house, we get it. You just got up early. Maybe you had to get everybody off to school and work, and you still got your curlers in and your robe on. But don't let me come back home and you still looking like that. Because what you don't realize is, I'm out there in the streets in the business world, and I'm seeing a woman who done got dressed for the day. She done got her hair done, and she smells nice. And she's, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, yes. And so he says, originally, we ain't looking at her. But he says that when you go home, and then you ain't trying to gussy yourself.
Yeah, and then you start to arguing and complaining, and it's just like pushing them away.
Right, but then so he comes home to that, and then he gives it, all right, she's having a one-off. But that becomes a habit, and that woman out there in the streets, hey, how you doing, baby? Oh, yes, and then he like, she is smelling kind of good. I'm not saying it's our fault that somebody may cheat on you, but when it all said and done, you need to say, all right, let me get my list. Yep, I was looking good. I maintained my weight. This Negro had some good food on the table. He, have some whatever. I never told him no. Yeah, I did my part, right? But now if you can't check off you did what you're supposed to do, then you might need to say, well, I was culpable a little bit,
Yeah.
So.
You're absolutely right, Demetria. And we have to communicate. We have to listen to each other when we communicate. And we have to see when things start to change and try to fix them. Because, again, sometimes we wait to the bitter end to try to make an effort to change, and it's too late by then.
Keisha?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we keep saying it's a business, but it is, because the person is investing in you, and they want a return on their investment. Both sides do. Women want a return on their investment, and men want a return on their investment. And you cannot be selfish about that. You can't be stubborn about it. You can't be pig-headed and belligerent on both sides. We both have to give.
Got to. And,
but at the same time, we both have to respect our roles in the relationship. And that's one of the biggest problems that we're having in the modern age. I know producers don't like to hear that, but people want, like somebody in the chat said that it sounds like women are being treated as second-class citizens. Why is it?
Can I just interject a little bit, Donovan?
Additional women duties is seen as second-class. That doesn't make
Donovan,
sense.
can I just ask a quick question? I think the biggest problem is, what is our roles? In 2023, what are our roles? I don't think any of us understand what that is.
Well, to me, it doesn't take a genius to understand what the role is. If you had a mama or a grandmother, whatever, they can tell you what that is. I mean, as a man, I can't tell a woman what her role is, but I can tell another man what his role is.
Well, let me just say this.
I mean, it rarely changes. In over 400,000 years since men and women have been on this earth, the roles have rarely changed. Women are nurturers. They're always going to be nurturers. Men are gatherers and hunters. That's just fact.
Let me say this. you have to be within. This is what it's common sense, but this was reiterated at the meeting I went to on Saturday. You got to be what you're looking for. If you say you want a traditional man or woman, you got to be that too. You can't be a modern woman or a modern man, because modern men exist. The 50-50 brothers. You know what? I want all the coochie. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. But I want, but I only want to pay half, and vice versa, right? Like, you got to be what you're looking for. Now, as far as traditionally speaking, we're speaking of traditional roles. That woman ain't working. That woman, she working, but she ain't outside of the house. She's in the house. She's making man in the house. She's making sure the children are taken care of. She's making sure she's taken care of. She makes sure the man is taken care of, right? That is her job. And of course, the man is out there. He's making the money. He's bringing it back. And
and women, that is the hardest job in the world, is to be a full-time mother. That is the hardest job in the world, and women are running from it.
No, wait.
No.
Hold on a second. Let me say this. I don't think there's a lot of women who don't know what it is to be traditional, and there's a lot of women who are marrying the men that they're with. They're not with traditional men. So there's a lot of women too who are traditional. They just ain't being treated right. So it's a spectrum of things. And yes, there are some women who are like, I ain't gonna be doing all of that, but I want you to take care of me 100%. I will say this to the men: get past how good she looks and say that ain't my woman. But that's the problem. Y'all try to domesticate those women that are like,
and who don't want to be domesticated.
I'm telling you, that is not who I am. I'm not cooking you nothing. I'm not washing no clothes. And I ain't doing none of that. But I want you to give me all the money. Yet she telling you that, but y'all like, okay, I know it's something I could say. Maybe I could click my heels together 3 times and make her into the woman I want her to be. She telling you who she is. And then y'all get on the platform and complain.
And also, Donovan, you got to understand there's another big factor that you're not putting out there. The job, the work is taking more of our time. We got all this cute computers and technology. And back in the day, you worked a 9 to 5. You got there at 9. You got there out at 5.
Okay, wait. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I agree with you, whatever. But to me, that sounds like an excuse, because
it's not an excuse, because now
it sounds like an excuse to me.
You're a teacher.
EJ, Demetra will tell you, I'm a traditional man, and any woman that I'm with doesn't have to do a damn thing, because I'm bringing home the whole loaf. Now, maybe that's just me and the way I was raised and my values. If I got to work 2 or 3 jobs, I'm going to do that. But my woman doesn't have to do that. When I hear people say, "Oh, it's society and this and that," no.
But you're not the majority of men, and that may be the problem. The majority of men
I'm not saying I'm the majority. I'm just saying in my situation.
I'm only saying with the 9 to 5 is that your jobs are taking more of your time. You're a teacher. A teacher used to come to school at 8, leave at 4 to be home for the kids. Now they make them bring that stuff home with them.
BJ, y'all, I don't know what.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You and Donovan are like oil and water. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But I'm Corliss.
So let me go back to something that Black America said a while back. He always seems to put me in some type of category. But let me set you straight today. Okay? This is the last time we're going to do this. You see what you see on here. You see what I allow you to see. Okay? But if you sat down and had a real conversation with me, you would see that I'm not always loud and a little ratchet and a little ghetto. I was trained very well, and I won't even say trained, taught very well to walk both sides of the street. So please believe you me that I can turn into Karen when need be, okay? And I ain't talking about the Karen that everybody calling the police on. I know how to be very transparent all the way across the board. So you can get me in Demetra, because you don't know that side of me. Okay?
And let me say this about my homegirl. Miss Corliss is One of the smartest women I know. When I tell y'all, this sister is very resourceful, very smart. She knows the law. You could call Corliss right now, girl. Whoop de whoop is going on. Oh, okay, yeah. This is what you do. You do this. You do that. I'm telling you. And not before I stop eating meat, this sister right here taught me how to make the best tasting roast beef I ever had. Okay, I tell you, I got compliments on that. So she's absolutely right. Don't take what you see on here as that's who we are totally. This is just who we are on here. But yeah, I ain't gonna let anybody run my girl low. Like I said, she is one of the smartest women I know, and I can think of 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 other people who will line up and say the same thing. So
come on.
Have you guys seen the Donovan? I don't know if you watched the fight that just happened between the two black guys. Okay, so did anybody on here see the conversation where I guess it was another boxer spoke very disrespectfully about his mate because she's a big girl. Okay. But she's a big girl that is the mother of his 6 children. Okay. And because she's not the shape that they feel like she should be, they have a problem with her. Well, clearly he don't have a problem because he's been with her the whole time. She is the mother of his children. So people always look at their physical attributes. But y'all better remember when TD Jakes brought it up about the women that they pull off the wigs, the butt, the boobs. And when you wake up, it ain't the woman that you went to bed with. You go to bed with them drunk one way and wake up scared in the morning. And she can't cook. And she ain't the mother type. And she might have had some good snatch. But guess what? You ain't gonna snatch her again because you woke up to what reality looks like.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. So, as they also say, and Brother Sammy, I see you put up it's on Facebook the link to let's see, what was it? The link for What Is Your Role by Minister Louis Farrakhan. So he put the link up on Facebook. Yeah, but it's, as they say in the nation, settle down to a good choice. But you got to make sure it's a good choice. It ain't a good choice because they told you it was a good choice. Like when you take something to court, you weigh all the evidence. I mean, as Donovan said, a lot of times people send their representative. And Corliss, I learned that term from you. You told me that a lot of times people send their representative. That representative is the person. Oh yes, I love to cook. I can cook. Oh yes, everything you can think of. And then when you get with them, it's like I ain't cooking you nothing. Shit, you better DoorDash something.
She probably don't even know what a skill it is.
Yeah, so you gotta really get to know people. I can't remember who I heard say it, but you got to get to know people in all seasons. Get to see how they are as much as you can in every scenario. But at this point, it's our fault that we're not settling down the people. And listen, I know that sometimes people they do a 3 or 180 on you, rather they do a 180, but for the most part, a lot of us could say, well, yeah, I didn't totally do all my homework. Had I did my homework, then I might not be in this situation. But, it's tackle a relationship like a business,
Yeah, and know that scammers are out there. Like, you can't just be skipping through the tulips. That's part of what Demetria is saying with vetting someone. If you know that there are scammers out there, not because they look good or maybe what they're showing you in terms of wealth looks good, means that that's who they really are. They might be looking at you as the person they're trying to run a game on too. Like the brother.
Yeah, because a lot of times you got people just looking for help. They're not looking for you. They're just looking for help.
Correct.
And I want to say this. I see. Michael, I didn't see you. I'm gonna have you come back. We about to actually get off and put Black America up here, and then come back on tomorrow, Michael. Let me get comment, man. He says that she has dookie stain in her drawers. Don't ask. What kind of women you dealing with? I mean, because my thing is,
Well, there's one of two things he might be dealing with.
Gotta be, because I was on it with you.
Oh Lord.
But they do make disposable wipes, so there's no excuse.
Black America, I rule the day, and wonder what you want to say next.
No, I just want to say, Corliss, I don't put you in any category. This is the whole thing about it. I wish and hope for success for everybody. But I'm going to put it to you like this. The way that we can be successful as Black people, as a Black community, is for our Black women to be joined with a Black man or a white man or a Chinese man, or whatever kind of man you want. You need somebody else with you. Yes, you can do very well by yourself. I do good by myself, but you can also do better when you're in partnership or in a relationship with someone. So stuff like that.
I mean, you know what? I agree with you. I think that we are better together. What is the African proverb? One can go far, but two can go even farther. So yeah. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. We overstayed our welcome, and we'll be back tomorrow, Wealth Wednesdays, where Walter is gonna take us to the next level. And Donovan, are you gonna make it back to Cali?
I don't know. I haven't even been here a week yet. Why should I be in such a rush? I could have got on the plane today. I said no.
Yeah. Let's see, Brother Samuel, you say, I believe physical love is the energy needed to stay together, to rise to the highest level of spiritual love that's deeply fulfilling and life-giving. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it a buck. We gotta, as they said, Saturday too, we gotta want to look at each other. We gotta still be attracted to each other. Some people, and I hate that in society it's gotten to the point, well, that's mean. You're supposed to love a person, I guess, unconditionally. However, if I didn't, men have beer guts, and beer guts aren't permanent either. But yeah, let's try to be our personal best so that the other person can enjoy it. That's all I'm saying.
I can deal with a little gut because I got one myself, but truth is everything for me. Telling the truth.
I'll take the gut if the personality is wretched. Give me the gut.
Yeah, solid foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, y'all, we love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Please come back and see us again. We'll be back with Walter Wealth Wednesdays. Maybe Donovan will be in Hawaii. Maybe he won't. He doesn't care. He has time and money. So we'll see. But until then, you guys be blessed. Love you all dearly. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Bye.
Peace, everybody. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.